Voices together across the nation, take a stand, this is our generation. Sing along, singing strong, we'll bring the music alive. Hey nana, hey ya, hey nana, hey ya. Now pieces suck, it squeezes suck. Hey nana, hey ya, hey nana, hey ya. Soki mama we nekamok, soki mama we nekamok.
Before the arrival of Europeans, First Nations in what is now Canada were able to satisfy all their material and spiritual needs through the resources of the natural world around them. All First Nations across the country hunted and gathered plants for food. The actual percentage of meat, fish, and plants in one First Nation's diet depended on what was available in the local environment. One of the most important things for them is to preserve food they hunted for a long time. So, how can they do that?
Once upon a time in British Columbia, there were a couple living in a small village. Every day, the husband, a hunter, went into the jungle to hunt wild animals, whereas his wife went fishing at sea. One day, the hunter went into the jungle and saw a goat. He sneaked behind the goat, attacked and killed it with a stone axe, and brought it home.
He and his wife ate a quarter of a goat. They couldn't eat food without salt, so his wife made salt from seawater. She got seawater from the ocean, poured it into a pot, and boiled it on a fire. The seawater was boiled until all the water was evaporated. Just only sea salt left in the pot. Evaporation is a technique used to separate out homogeneous mixtures where there are one or more dissolved salts. After that, they left the rest of the meat in the corner of the house.
The next day, they found the remaining meat was stale and stinking, so they could not eat it anymore. The spoilage of the meat occurred because the meat was untreated, in a matter of hours or days, and the resulting meat became unappetizing, poisonous, infectious. Spoilage is caused by the particularly unavoidable infection and the subsequent decomposition of meat by bacteria and fungi, which are borne by animal itself. Some days later, the hunter saw another goat in the jungle. He kept the goat and brought it to his house.
He and his wife ate little meat. Learning from previous experience to avoid meat damage, he tried to dry the remaining meat on fires, and then stored the dry meat in his kitchen. A few months later, he found that the dried meat is still good and not stale. From there, he knew how to preserve meat for a long time. Drying meat means removing much of the water content. Drying meat is a way of preserving used years and years ago by Indians and other ancient people.
Nowadays, dehydration is a wise way to preserve food without salt or other preservatives. Dehydration or drying removes food's natural moisture. Because bacteria and fungi need water to multiply, drying food makes it less vulnerable to contamination that can spoil it or make it dangerous to eat. Less moisture decreases the likelihood of food spoilage and storage. The evaporation of the water from salt water is used in commercial production of salt on several seacoasts. For example, Vancouver Island Salt is one of the companies in BC that use the evaporation method to produce sea salt.